Moving on from question 4 of Reading Comprehension Drill Set number 5 over at lawhub.lsac.org, we get to question 5. And question 5 is asking specifically which one of the following contains a strategy most like the strategy contained in the alternative plan for overcoming obstacles to landing humans on Mars. And since I'm being asked specifically about the alternative plan, and I know the alternative plan is really only mentioned in this final paragraph, I'm just going to scroll down there right now while I'm highlighting contains a strategy most like the strategy in the alternative plan. So the alternative plan is about landing a fully equipped return vehicle, habitat, and supplies on Mars before the crew's arrival. And again, our underline kind of draws our eye when we're talking about specific details. So I'm just looking for something that is similar to, like, shooting off this kind of scout vehicle with all of the provisions that is needed. So starting with choice A family that could not afford to make a large down payment on the purchase of a house decided to make a small down payment, though at the cost of a higher interest rate and higher monthly payments. Well, we're not making a small down payment. If anything, it seems like we're sending a bunch of stuff in advance. So A is kind of a weird reversal of what's happening in the alternative plan as it's described in that final paragraph. Then choice B, a plane taking a very long flight over terrain where landing to refuel is impractical is refueled in midair by a fuel transport plane, thus saving both fuel and flight time. We may be reminded about saving fuel and flight time. So realistically, I might hold on to choice B if I'm working through this question live. It seems at least somewhat tangentially similar to that alternative plan. Now, I don't love it, so I've got to go still review the remaining answer choices. So, choice C, to save 3 more days of vacation time for fishing, a group going on a vacation to a remote lake unserved by roads chooses to arrive by seaplane at the lake rather than trekking there overland. Well, we're not taking an entirely different mode of transportation. It's not like we're driving to space instead of flying to space. So we're going to, or to a new planet. So we're going to eliminate choice C because it just is not similar in any fashion to that alternative strategy. Then choice D, a business person experiencing prohibitive costs and delays in exporting goods in a very few large lots decides instead to have goods exported in many small lots. Well, we're not shooting like several scout vehicles, so choice D can be eliminated for that idea of many small lots pretty readily. And then lastly, choice E, a desert explorer traveling 1,000 kilometers on foot finds that carrying all the necessary provisions from the outset greatly impedes progress. So the explorer has provisions dropped in advance at a designated spot halfway along the route. And I go, ooh, I really like that provisions dropped in advance part compared to the alternative plan. So now we're down to B and E, and when we're down to B and E, we need to focus on reasons to eliminate rather than to select. And you have to be careful because you might think halfway along the route, but like, isn't Mars the target, endpoint of this mission? Well, not really, because the astronauts have to come back to Earth theoretically. So that is kind of halfway for Mars. But if we go back up to choice B, a plane taking a very long flight over terrain where landing to refuel is impractical is refueled in midair by a fuel transport plane. There's no other uh, shuttle coming alongside the shuttle with the astronauts to refuel it. So that is the reason we can eliminate choice B. And you have to be careful, be realistic, and sometimes you'll get down to 2. When you get down to 2, don't just pick the one that you like best. Then actually kind of redouble your attention and your diligence to find specifically why one of the 2 answer choices is wrong so you can get a question correct, such as number 5 when you encounter it on your next reading comprehension practice.